This is Rodney Cuevas from Mississippi DEQ, and I'm going to show, this is a continuation of the previous app that I created for exceptional events, but this is version 2 of that. I've kind of expanded on the original version, and I just wanted to kind of highlight some of the additions that I made in version 2 of the app. There's two parts to this app. There's you can look over long durations of extended periods of time, and then once you look at extended periods, if you see particular days you want to look at into further, you can drill down into further days in the daily tab here, and I'll show that here in a few minutes. So the first part, for the HMS Smoke and PM25 analysis, first thing you got to do is download the AirNow data, and I'll do an example here. Let's do June 15th through June 30th of 2003, and you click this. It's going to download the AirNow data for June 15th through June the 30th, and this pulls from the AirNow site. And then the next thing you do is you want to select state code, and I will select for Mississippi. Since it's Mississippi, I'll select state code 28, and it gives you a table readout of the PM25 values, the daily PM25 values for the days for each site for the date selection. And then you want to process the HMS Smoke. Basically, you want to merge what the HMS Smoke was over those certain monitoring locations for specific days. So we'll process the HMS Smoke data. It's down here in the lower right, and it'll show you that what it's doing is it's taking the HMS Smoke, and it's just joining those specific lat long points, matching up the lat long points at the sites, and it will merge the two tables together. And it'll take just a minute to do that. My next plan is to incorporate some different processing methods to kind of speed the process up. I've done this for 2 years, and processing 2 years of data, and it takes about a good 45 minutes to an hour for about 2 years of data. For some reason, it's faster on Windows machines than Macs, but I'm doing this on my Mac, and it's kind of my Windows machine. It does a lot faster. So it's finishing up here. And then after it finishes, we'll show the combined table. So here's a combined table, and it links the site name with the smoke intensity, and it gives again the PM25 value. And so this tab I have here, you can choose a site. However, we'll say Hernando, and so it'll plot the PM25 values in accordance with the level of smoke for that particular day over the site. So you have light and medium, and I have overlaid here the tiering. If you want to look at where the smoke, where the PM25 values are in relation to the tiering. When you're looking at exceptional events, I had the tiering outlined. The tier 1 for Hernando for this month was 23. The tier 2 was 15.3. So if you're looking at wanting to possibly flag data in AQS for exceptional events, you can look at this and say, okay, I want to flag data with medium smoke above the tier 2 threshold, and it just kind of just gives you a decent look, and kind of just helps you out as far as what you want to flag, what data you want to flag according to or even look at for exceptional events where of course you need less justification for tier 1. It's more, but for tier 2 you're going to need more extensive arguments for causal relationships on, for exceptional events on, why you want excluded data within tier 2, and even more in tier 3 if you wanted to go further in tier 3. The filter data tab here, once you look at the plot, the filter data tab, you have an option here where you can filter out the smoke intensity if you want. You can do a PM25 threshold if you want to look at values 15 or greater, or however you want to look at that. You can look at the smoke intensity, or you can filter by tier. Say, okay, I want to just have a printout of, I want to be able to look at data for tier 2 values and greater. So any values that are greater than tier 2. The tier 2, like Cleveland was 16, Hernando was 15, and it just highlights values that are greater than tier 2. Or you can do values greater than tier 1. If you just want to look at values greater than tier 1 and download the filtered data, you have the option to download the data. You can just save it and save it as a CSV file. So that's just a quick look at some of the, if you want to look at an extended range of PM25 data. But if you want to drill down even further and say, okay, so I want to look at Hernando had a 24.8 value on June the 28th of 2023. You're like, well, I want to look a little further into that. So I have this daily AQ Met HMS Smoke tab here. So what you want to do, we want to look at values that are, let's look at Hernando, June 28th, 2023. So let's say June 28th, 2023 for Mississippi. And what this does here, it's going to generate air quality plots and meteorological plots. It takes just a minute for it to plot. It pulls the air quality plots from AirNow Tech, and then it'll pull all the Met data. So what this does, you have the ozone map, the PM25 map, then you have, I just plotted max temperature, the min temp, just weather parameters, max dew point, min dew point, the wind speed. This is the daily, the average for the day. So the wind speed average for the day, and then the average wind direction for the day. And so that just gives you a quick look of, just the Met parameters. And if you want to take even further looks, I have a weather map tab here. And so what this does, we're looking at the 28th. So I'm pulling a surface map, and all the other maps are from 0Z or 1Z from the 29th. The reason I put this as 0Z because it's for Mississippi, it's 5 hours ahead. So you're really looking at 7 p.m. But in this case, it's 8:38 p.m. of the day of the occurrence. It kind of just gives us an overall of the whole day. So that's why I chose the 0Z map of the current day. And then you have your significant meteorological levels here. You can look at 925 here. You can look at 850 millibars. You can look at 700, 500 millibars here, all the way up to 300 millibars. And so you have your Met data that if you want to look at. And so also I have what I did was there's a smoke tab here, and it shows a smoke map of Mississippi with the threat. This is as of the 28th. It's all within, the whole state looks like it's within medium smoke here, medium. And then it just gives you, this here shows a map of the whole Canada and all of the United States. Kind of just gives you a picture of, hey, what does the smoke maps look like? And then lastly, if you wanted to, you can do I incorporated back trajectories into this app. So we were looking at 2023, June the 28th, and then we say Mississippi, and I was looking at Hernando. So you choose a site, Hernando. And so what I was going to do, typically you have 3 height options here. And what I do, I usually choose the 10 meter height, the 50 meter height, and then for kind of the mid levels, I'll do a 1500 meter. You can do your duration of how far back you want to do a back trajectory. We'll do 24 hours just for an example. And then the run hour, we'll do the 23rd for the run hour, the last run hour of the day. You want a backward trajectory, and then I have the reanalysis. So it will generate, so what it does, it generates a back trajectory for Hernando, and then it looks like the lower levels here are from the south for the past 24 hours, which that makes sense because the winds looks like it's out of the southeast here at Hernando for that day. So the back trajectory, and then the upper level here, or the mid level at 1500, it looks like it's coming out of the west. And this is just a cross section of the plot. It looks like you got descending. This is 24 hours going forward. As you go further to the left on the x-axis, you're moving in forward in time. So it looks like you have descending air motion going at 50 meters, descending air even at 10 meters, descending air going with in forward in time. And then also here with just the 1500, looks like you got a little descent, then you got more of ascent, and then that's just it. Again, it don't have to be 1500. It can be it could be 200 meters, however you want to look at it. But I just like to look at just see what the mid levels are doing also. So that is just a very quick overview of the newer version of this app that's from the previous version. So I just call this one version 2. And if there's I just want to make this app as thorough as possible for people to use when they're looking at exceptional events or just looking at retrospectives, whether it's high ozone days, high PM days. I want to make this app as thorough as possible as I can when looking at past events. And of course, if anybody has any ideas or if they find any bugs or anything or something that you think I can add to this to make it more user friendly or useful, please just reach out to me. I have my email here on the app if there's any questions, comments, or bugs. And so I hope you enjoyed the presentation. Like I said, if there's anything that you have any ideas or anything, please reach out. And definitely appreciate y'all taking a listen.